intro. So
This shit's fire.
man, I'm loving that new intro. It's awesome. Yeah. That's good stuff, man. Good stuff. But listen, everybody, obviously, you guys know we're live. What an honor it is to have my man Issac Woodworth back on and Andreas Jarmello. I hope I didn't just murder your last name, Andreas.
Pretty good, pretty good.
All right.
I'll give you a
Yes.
10 out of 10.
Thank you so much. But yes, gentlemen, what an honor it is to sit here with you two again. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing good, man. Had a busy day at work. Picked Rossi up from school, ran home real quick, and logged in and changed my shirt, threw my hat on, and yeah, here we are. What about you, Andreas? How was your day?
Pretty busy. It was a 4 in the morning type day, and we're powering through.
Dude, trust me, I feel you. So I actually got somebody, my buddy Chris from the UK says hello from the UK.
Oh, right on. Hello.
Yeah, good stuff, man. So Isaac, listen, 2023 first year Moto America full season and Junior Cup, right?
Mhm.
Tell us about how your season went. Start from the very beginning.
So the very beginning, we had a lot coming in. It was a lot. The whole team was new to everything, so it was really a learning experience this year. So we came into it not knowing a lot about the engine building and stuff, and like what the team needs to do. So for the first 2 rounds, we really learned a lot with the bike wise, and like throughout the season, we just learned about team wise. So the season was pretty good, but we developed a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
Let me add there something, Chris.
go ahead.
So we thought we were ready as a team, and we thought we were going to provide Isaac with this awesome opportunity and a bike ready to go, and then just really make an amazing impression from the first race. Turns out we didn't know a lot of things when we had to figure it out very quickly, very quickly. And Moto America is not a place where you go and show up unprepared. And I'm not saying that we were unprepared, but the things that we learned, there is no club racing you can do to learn the things that you need to learn in Moto America. So that's what Isaac is referring to.
Yeah, it's really a different experience from club racing to Moto America. There's nothing really like it. You just gotta jump into it and learn the waters.
You got to jump in and swim with the sharks, right? I mean, yeah, there is a lot to learn. Going from club racing to Moto America, there's probably a lot of added pressure on with that, right? Because now you're on the professional level, TV time, all that good stuff that goes along with it. So, what was the biggest struggle you two had during the season last year?
So my biggest struggle was just getting up to speed real fast and learning the track, because all the tracks were new to me. So learning the tracks, getting up to speed was the hardest for me.
Yeah, I think that from Isaac's perspective, and there was a lot of pressure based on the results that he can get at a club race or a karting event, or like not karting, but motards or supermotos or little bikes on a kart track. So there was a expectation, a ghost expectation from him. So he was putting extra pressure on himself, and from the rider perspective, that's kind of pretty difficult to overcome because you have your own expectation. We didn't put any pressure because we were there to learn.
Yeah.
But as a team, the logistics of things, how to go to the rounds, that was intense.
Yeah. I bet all that the traveling, the booking, the mileage, the gas, the whole nine that goes on. I mean, there's a whole lot that goes into it as far as being a complete, right? But going through the first season as a full team brought everybody in closer together, right? So next year, the full assault is on, and now you know what to expect because you'll be better prepared.
Yeah.
You know, for this season coming up, and you too, Isaac, right? Because now you know the tracks, which way they go, right? And I know you've been practicing on the PlayStation, Ride 5, right, for sure. Dude, that's awesome. Obviously, it was an honor to meet both you guys in Jersey. I've had Isaac on before, but yeah, going around the paddock and actually meeting everybody was icing on the cake for me to end the year properly, right? And to watch you guys, because I stood back and watched you guys from afar, right? I let when it's time for you guys to do your thing, but I watched how everybody worked. I watched how you did it, how Liv Abadi did it, how Rossi Moore did it, how everybody in the Junior Cup paddock, how they got prepared, how they, you know, when you put on your leather suit, they're in there changing tires on your bike or whatever it is that they was doing to prepare you for the next session going out. I watched everybody. And it was great to see everybody grow, and I seen a lot of smiles between everybody.
Yeah,
that's what I loved more than anything is all the laughter and the smiles, right? It wasn't frustrations. And that also could have been because it was the end of the year, right? It was the last round. So a lot of that weight's probably off of you, Andreas, right? Yeah. And Isaac too, as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jersey was rough.
Yeah. But besides like all the racing, the paddock at Moto America is pretty nice. It's pretty cool to hang out with all the people there too. But when it's game time, it's game time. You gotta put the head down and go to work.
That's right. Absolutely.
I mean, just a quick recap on what Jersey was for Isaac. I've never seen someone had the willpower to get up as many times, having such a difficult circumstances. It rained a lot, and it was kind of cold, and it was a new track for Isaac. So he was learning where to be, where not to be, and the incidents that happened, 5 of them, 5 times Isaac got up and went back out there. I mean, when was the last time you got knocked out 5 times and got up and kept on doing anything?
Yeah.
Not me. 2 or 3 and I'm done.
Yeah. Jersey was a hard weekend, but we definitely overcame and learned from it. So
yeah.
Jersey was probably the roughest weekend on everybody. The rain, the wind, it was difficult for because obviously you guys know my man Jules, he corner marshaled, and I remember I think it was Saturday, and I just see him walking through the pits. His head was down, his shoulders were slumped. He's like, "Can we just please go back to the hotel? Like, I'm just done with the day. I'm tired. I'm soaking wet. It's just And for you guys, especially you, Isaac, out there on the track and everybody, super difficult. I mean, it was, and parts on the track, it actually puddled up there in Jersey, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of before the repave. I haven't been there since the repave, but like the old track was super bumpy going through some of the corners, like 3A, B, and all that, and like the carousel. They were so bumpy, and like you could see streams coming across like it puddles up, like gets in between like the divots in the ground, kind of.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And there's something also like the seam sealers. Those are when they get wet, they're really
slick. It seems like they use that on everything, especially our roads out here. It's like they're everywhere. It's just super slick during the rain too. It is, it's crazy. And obviously, go ahead. Sorry, Andrew.
You can imagine in Florida we don't have seam sealers. The technology doesn't exist here.
If there's a hole in the ground, they're gonna keep it there.
That's awesome. It's like that here too, in a lot of spots here in Virginia too as well. Absolutely, it's So this year in Jersey, Isaac, I'm gonna use that for an example. Did you guys get any rain as hard as that? I'm trying to think. Go back through the series. Did it rain as much on any other tracks as it did in Jersey for you?
We got at Road Atlanta and Brainerd. There was two sessions where it rained, but it wasn't a lot. And I remember doing good in the rain at Atlanta. I was on P1 and Q2, but only a few people went out. Like 10 people went out, and then Brainerd.
Right now.
Yeah, Brainerd. I was P2, but the guy in front of me had wrecked, and then everyone else behind me was like a good bit behind me. But Brainerd was pretty sick. It was Q1, so there was like 5 or 8 people that went out, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. And actually, so Jeff Servin, what is up? Chef Eats is in the house. I tell everybody, listen, if you want the best meals you can get sent to your door or at your local track, heat it up in a microwave 3 minutes and 30 seconds, let it cool for a minute, and absolutely enjoy. Isaac, he's a contestant to it and actually fed me. That was the first time I actually had it. So big shout out to your dad for actually feeding me in Jersey. I guess he seen I was hungry on my face walking through the pitch. He's like, hey, man, you need something to eat? I was like, absolutely, I do. But my man, Jeff Servin, actually says, watching your progress from FP1 to the races was always super impressive. Definitely something to hang your hat on. Absolutely. We can all agree to that. And then Pat Sheridan, what is up? He says, expectation is Isaac to throw some bows. Yep. Absolutely. And then Chris Lewis actually said this season will be epic one for you, knowing what you know now. Yeah. It's always good to get a full season under your belt, like we stated earlier, right? Especially the track time and the track knowledge that you had gained last season, which is imperative. That's probably the most important is the track knowledge.
Yeah, it's hard to show up to a track that you've never been to and you only seen videos of, because like you can't trust the videos ever because you don't know how good the people were in the videos, or you don't know what kind of conditions it were in the day. So it's really hard because you got to show up and learn the track in basically 5 laps before you get to Q1. So it's kind of a lot of pressure, but I feel like this year, now that I know the tracks, all I gotta do is learn Mid-Ohio, and I think we might be going to a track day before, so that would help me learn it.
Yeah, just to put everything in perspective for the people that have not had the experience to race in Moto America. You go to a new place, and Friday goes as follows. You have a free practice, and then a qualifying. That's it. Your free practice might be 15 minutes maybe.
Yeah, I think it's 15 minutes, and then Q1's probably like 20 minutes. I think.
Yeah. So you never been to a track, and you are performing at the national level in 35 minutes. That's it. That's all you got, and that decides how race 1 is going to start. So naturally. Race 1 and 2. Well, you got qualified too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But naturally, you can imagine how much of a challenge that is for anyone. Even
for sure.
the people that have already been doing it. The tracks change because we don't go there the exact same month and the exact same, weather and everything else. Like all these factors matter. If you go in the summer, it's not the same in the spring, or kind of like, the beginning of winter, if you will. So your setup could be completely different.
Oh, for sure, right? And track temperature, tires, pressure, all that plays a major key role. And yeah, absolutely. So, man, Daryl Powell, what is going on? He says, yo, only a few hours for the green light. Let's have it, Scotty. Yeah, absolutely. So obviously World Superbikes this weekend, right? So yes, let's go, my man Scott Redding. I'm ready for him to get a bunch of them W's this year for sure on that BMW. But listen, we have a question. Michael Carrera is in the house. What is going on? SFL Mini GP. He says, what did you learn from last year to deal with the upcoming hard situations and how to overcome them? That's the first question. So I'll let you answer that one, and then we'll get to the second one. Great question, by the way.
Well, so going into the weekend, I didn't really know how it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be like a normal race weekend. It definitely was not like that. So coming in, I didn't know what to expect. But I learned that I have to get up to speed real fast. And once I got up to speed real fast, it's not only that, you gotta learn how the track is and everything. So I learned to watch videos and analyze I spent at before all the rounds last year, I spent at least 4 or 5 days out of the week studying the track, watching years of videos, and then all that to lead up to now the new competition is harder, and it's gonna keep getting harder. I was just watching Rossi Moore from years back, watching his race style, watching Avery's race style, and then just seeing how I could use that to my advantage.
Nice. Absolutely. And then he says his second part of this question is great times and situations are easy to accept, but what will help you accept and push through the hard times?
So what we had a lot of hard times last year because we didn't know how to set up the bike really. So going into this year, we have a lot more. We're trying to get a lot more experience setting up the bike. So we're working with German Voska, he's pretty good at suspension with BPM. So he's going to help us set up the suspension and really do the gearing and everything because the first 2 rounds we didn't have enough power. So now that we have power, we got to learn the gearing for the first 2 tracks and then the setup for the first 2 tracks. Well, not even the first 2 tracks, all the tracks leading up to Brainerd because after Brainerd, we put lighter springs in, and that helped me a lot. So we got to learn the lighter springs at each track now.
Front and rear? Sorry, Andreas. Okay. Front and rear springs or just the front?
Yeah, they had us. Well, we had 9.0s in at first, and we thought because that's what I ran on my 300, and I always ran good on my 300. But going into the 400, they at Moto America, corner speed is everything. So then we went to 8.5s at Brainerd, and then Pittsburgh we went to 8.0s. So now we're using 8.0s front and rear.
Yeah, I'll put a pin on that, and I'm going to go and address that in a second. Yeah. Just to add on to Issac's response to Michael, I think as a team, so Issac obviously was answered from a rider perspective, but as a team, I think what we learn is that we're not there because we're not enjoying it. But the thing that it makes it a little bit harder is to set unrealistic expectations, and we're just newcomers, right? I think setting up realistic expectations and coming up with a little bit of a plan as to what are we actually going to change during this limited amount of time. And I think that, setting up the expectation is really what help us push through, the difficult times. We're there to enjoy at the end of the day, right? So.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're not having fun, what's the point?
Right?
That's what our sport is fun, right? And we love it. It's such a passion that even the hard times you accept them, right? It's like the best girlfriend you ever had in your life, right? I mean, dude, you forgive her for everything she throws at you, good and bad. You're like, I'm sorry, baby, and you keep coming back, and you always forgive her. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's So Andreas, what to answer Michael's question, same question for you. What did you learn from last year to deal with the up and coming situations?
Yeah, a lot. There's this huge sense of community in the Moto America paddock, and a lot of it stems from actually Michael, because a lot of the kids that come from the South Florida Mini GP program, and the family, there is a synergy, and is not a strange thing to go and say, hey, what are you using for this track? And everybody has a different bike, and everybody has a different strategy, but the information is shared. A lot of the times is, anyway, when it's applicable, it is. Yeah. And just kind of having that backbone of growth in the community was, I think, something that I learned to rely on, and instead of trying to figure out everything myself, which clearly guided us in the wrong direction. So I think that's something that I learned from last year.
And to the to the second part of this question is, what will help you push through the hard times this year?
Yeah, just setting the expectations
Yeah,
the right way. I mean,
yeah,
we set the expectations relatively high, and it's like, hey, we're let back a little bit. We will get there, but we're
oh,
not
for
there.
sure. Yeah, I mean, showing up, having fun, all smiles, and I'm sure with no pressure helps everybody. And going back, touching what you just said, Andres, about people in the paddock being family and friends. Like, of course, if you can go and ask help, right? Because I'm sure you guys did. You receive? Let me rephrase that. You received help from other racers or members in the paddock as far as like bike setup, gearing, because coming into it your first year, you had no idea about any of that, right? It's just basically Isaac, jump on the bike, come back in and tell me what you feel. We'll basically go from there, right?
Yeah. So, not to derail the conversation here, but Isaac's first time riding a Ninja 400 was, what was it, 2 weeks before?
A week
Isaac?
before.
A week before. Never even ridden. So the difference between an R3 and a Ninja 400 is it's a heavier bike, and it does things differently. So we were as green as you can possibly arrive to any situation.
Yeah.
And so we have to, we went and asked, and Curtis, Isaac's dad, is amazing at, finding information from reliable sources.
Yeah.
And we take this information and then we discuss, hey, what is it? This is a recommendation from one team that runs this specific setup. This is a recommendation from this different team. What do we do? What do we, where do we go from? And there's a lot of learning, huge learning. And yes, everybody that has been or have participated in the in the SFL Mini GP paddock had their input, and we use it as best we could.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. It's a SFL Mini, man. It's unlike anything else. I haven't physically been yet. I can't wait to go, but that's all I hear is the family oriented. It's family, and I love that. That's what it's for, right? It's like Andres. My mom always told me when I was a little kid, dude, it takes a village to raise a child, and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. You're my mom and my dad. Y'all do it pretty well, right? Now as I grow older, I understood what she said. Same thing for racers, right? It takes a village to raise one racer for sure. Absolutely. And Pat Sheridan, what is going on, my man? He says, Isaac, what are you doing physically to prepare for 2024?
So right now, every morning when I go to school, I hit the weight room at school and I work on different muscles. And then I do cardio every day. Just play basketball I play basketball for like 5 hours a day. So that's pretty good cardio. So that's what I'd be doing. And I'd be going to the weight room in the morning.
Yeah, basketball's a lot of fun, running up and down the track. I personally like soccer. That's my sport. So I'd be running on the soccer field, kicking a soccer ball, acting like I'm Lionel Messi, right? Or Pele back in the day, right? Not even close, right? Oh, I just pulled my hamstring. I just kicked the ball 3 times, right? Yeah. But anyway, you got to pretend and have fun, man. That's the most thing. And we actually have another question for you. It says, from my man Chris, he says, what was your journey to Moto America, Isaac?
So like, how did I get up to Moto America?
Yeah, your journey to.
So I started off with SFL, like in 2017. I really started. Well, I started riding. I didn't really start taking racing seriously till like 4 years ago. But I did SFL just here and there. But I was really playing baseball, and that's what I was focused on, like 2017, 2018, and 2019. But once we got to 2020, I wanted to do racing because I did the 3-day camp, and I got like, I just felt how much better I felt after getting coached by someone professional. I had coaches at SFL before, and they did an incredible job. But just having like my first coach was Daryl Rawls, I think his name is, and then I forgot his last name. It's Daryl though. But he was one of my favorite coaches. But when I got to the 3-day camp, I had like Who did I have? John Hopkins. I had Roger Hayden, Stumpy. I forgot his first name, but all those coaches really brought me into the sport. And then after that, I quit baseball and started taking racing seriously.
I mean, you had some proper legends right there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stumpy, I think it's Eric is his first name, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I might be wrong.
But yeah, he talked to my dad and told me that I should focus on racing because he sees I have potential. So I started focusing on racing, and then I did my first big bike season, I think, at the end of 2 years ago, and I really did a full season last year, and then this is my first year in Moto America. Well, it's a new year, so 2 years ago I did my full season. Last year I did Moto America, and then this year I'm doing Moto America again.
Thank you, Pat, and Curtis too. He said Scott Stump. Sorry, I said Eric. It's Scott. Yeah. So, all right. Sorry, my mom was just texting me. I was like, "Mom, I'm on a podcast right now." I'm surprised my son ain't. Go ahead. Sorry, Andreas.
Should be like, look at me, Mom, no hands.
Yeah, right. Look, I no hands. Yeah, it's funny because she'll come over and I tell her if I'm podcast, just open the door, give me a kiss, and yeah, go about your way. So she's like, I won't do that, but she'll text me. So okay, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. We have fair play, Isaac. You have a fantastic future. Listen, Isaac did what a journey. 3 years, and then all of a sudden racing in the Moto America paddock, right? In the 400 class, and you was racing with. Listen, all you guys are the future of the sport, right? Isaac, you're the future of the sport, and you were racing with all the other futures of the sport in the Junior Cup class, right? Some moved to Twins Cup, but I think this year you're going to be on it 110%, and I can't wait to see you stand on the top step and get them W's in, right? I know your dad will be very proud of you, and I already know he is very proud of you. And same thing with Andreas. So let me ask you this. How did you two meet?
I met him at an SFL event.
That's right.
At the Heron compound.
Was it Heron or Bushnell?
I think it was Bushnell.
Bushnell?
Yeah. Because like he was riding his Super Mini, his 190, and he was asking us for some help on some things, and we started talking, and that's how I got to meet him.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice. So who's faster, you, Andreas, or Isaac?
I mean, there's no comparison. So in the same bike, okay, same day, same tires, maybe different tire life. I think Isaac. So my best time at Jennings in the endurance race was 28. And I think Isaac's best lap is at 22.
I think so. A 22 or maybe a 21.
Yeah. That is 6 seconds.
That's
minimum. So there's no question who is faster here.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. Wow, that's yeah. And ride, man. That's one thing I want to do is I want to come down there and ride with all them guys. And Isaac, listen, and I'm not fast. I'm like, dude, Andreas is faster than me. I just want to have a good time and learn as much as I can, soak it all in. And I won't be like Jules though. I won't break 4 clutch levers in the same day. So,
so what if you do? It's fine.
No, it is.
It's
you gotta have your
the risk is so low. The risk is so low, and what you learn from it is so much. The 4 levers is not a big toll to pay.
No, it's not. I was just picking a little fun at Jules. That's all. Because he actually come down there and met all you guys. He actually left his helmet at Michael Carrera's house, which he still got. So, yeah. Curtis says we spent every weekend at a racetrack this year too. I mean, that's a lot. Going to work full time, taking your kid to the racetrack basically full time, week in, week out, every year. Man, that's full dedication, 110%. I mean, people don't realize how much effort and dedication you put in it, because I'm sure Curtis is thinking about you racing 80% of the day, maybe more, right? Especially when the weekends come out. How can he progress? Blah blah blah, all this stuff, right? That's a big effort. I mean, that's a huge effort, and it costs money.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
And resources aside, because that's a different conversation. Resources aside, Isaac has also been training not just road racing, which is one discipline. He's been training flat track, motor.
I've been doing a
Big,
lot of tracking.
is
you like
I
flat
think it,
track? Sorry,
Yeah.
Andres, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
All right. Yeah, flat track is pretty sick. I really like. It was hard at first because I'm not used to like the front end tucking and all of that. Like maybe a little bit, like from circle drills, I can control it a little bit here and there. But starting flat track, I can controlling the bike out of the corners, going in the corners with the bars completely sideways. Like I think it's one of the best trainings. Really, I like it a lot.
I'm a huge fan of flat track. I mean, when I watch them guys properly, Brad Baker and all them, I mean, it's just full tuck. It's amazing to see them guys do that, right? And I'm sure you pick up a lot of feel doing flat track, losing the fronts. Now you're more comfortable losing the front, so you might be the next Marc Marquez, right? You might be, yeah. You never know. Absolutely, you never know. Chris says, see, best of luck to you this year, kid. We are all rooting for you. Isaac is going to send it this year. Yeah, Isaac sends it. As Andreas already said, yeah, he sends it 5 times and gets up, still keeps sending it, right? That's but that says a lot about your character too, Isaac, and your determination, right? And your love and passion for this sport. You just want to win. That's it. I just want to win. Yep. It's like that old Andres. You remember the Honda commercial when they actually had motorcycle commercials on TV, and they're like, "Who wants to ride?" And all the kids are like, "I just want to ride, me. I just want to ride." Right? Yeah, absolutely.
It was Honda one, right?
Yeah, it was a Honda commercial. Yeah. That's still me to this day, right? I just want to ride, right? I have a little CRF 100 that I mess around on, pretend like Anthony Gobert and Valentino Rossi. At least in my mind, but it's nowhere near close, right? It's like playing basketball with your tongue out. You're still not Michael Jordan, but it looks cool, right? I guess.
Yeah.
Curtis says most nerve-wracking racing I've witnessed as a parent. Oh, dude, listen. Being a dad, it's. Do you have kids, Andre?
I do not.
Okay, so for me personally, once I had my son, there's a certain switch that flipped. So shit that used to not worry me, now it worries me, right? Like I'd be fine going out there to do it, but watching my kid do it, I absolutely get where you're coming from. It would be, I would have no nails left. It would be
I mean, I've shared some of those moments where I'm like, oh, you're too close to whoever or whatever, you're too close to a wall, or you're too close to this other rider. Or, yeah, of course. I mean, you get pretty nervous. I can understand where that comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So listen, question for both of you two. As a rider, Isaac, how do you mentally prepare for every race?
Mentally prepared. My mindset just going into say it's a race weekend. My mindset going into the weekend is I just want to win. I want to have fun, but like Moto America, you gotta go there to win because that's a national stage. You can't just go there to have fun. You got to have fun, but if you're going to Moto America, you gotta go to win. So, I like going into the weekend. I'm just hoping for my best result, which is winning, and that's just what I'm thinking about the whole time and how I'm gonna do it.
I love it. Just winning. All we do is win, win, win. Let's go. I love it. Andreas, what's your approach? How do you mentally prepare as a team member? And on top of that, what is your role within the team?
Okay. So as far as the first question, mental preparation. Okay. So if I am doing my own racing, which I do every now and again, it's kind of a spur of the moment. if I can swing it, then I'll be at the racetrack. So there's not a lot of preparation, but I don't do as many events either. As far as in the team environment, there's a lot more work involved and a lot more planning that takes place. So we have a little bit of a structure in the team. We, so we know when the calendar is, and we know when we have to go to a place. So we plan and talk and come up with the ideas of what it is that we need. And so it's kind of like a mental routine of a structure where we're going over the things that we are going to need, we're going to use, we're going to spend, we're going to, all these if scenarios also. So that's our preparation. Mental preparation is just, have a structure that allows to plan for these scenarios. And when, the race weekend approaches, or we are at the race weekend, we are not, at least myself, I'm not as anxious to say like, oh, did I think of this, or where is this other thing did I bring this thing? A lot of small things that can happen, like parking passes. Whoever thinks of that stuff, well, you kind of have to write it down somewhere.
Yeah. No, yeah. So me, I got 2 notebooks right here full of all kinds of podcast stuff, right? And then my calendar on my phone. It's like, dude, if I don't write stuff down, or at least in my calendar or somewhere on my notes and on my phone, it's good luck for me. Remember, it's just so much going on from day-to-day life, and being, I helped Chris Lilligard, what was it, 2018, I think it was, in the Twins Cup class for 3 rounds. Went to Wisconsin, VIR, and it was a lot of fun, but it was different working in a team, right, versus being a spectator. It's not like people imagine. I mean, it's nonstop. It's 7 a.m. in the morning till 6 o'clock at night. I mean, you're nonstop doing something, cleaning the bike, chain, tires, taking them to get changed, putting the stickers on the side of the tire, make sure they match on the sheet, just everything, and then going to hot pit, cold pit, tire warmers, generators, extension cords, the buggy, there's so much to it. It's you just don't really understand it, I guess, until you're in that environment. But it was so much fun. To me, it wouldn't work, right? I just smiled every day, all day. I was like, dude, this is absolutely amazing. Yes. Yeah. And same thing, we reached out, and because we had some issues with the bike, and everybody in the paddock, a lot of them were like, yeah, absolutely. They'd come over and help us and, give us advice and all that good stuff, which is good. It's good stuff, man. Good stuff. So, Isaac, how do you, when you approach every race weekend, I understand you want to win, right? But you're not always going to win every race, right?
Of course.
So the expectations going in this year versus last year, Andres already touched on it some, right? So they're more of a realistic goals going into 2024. So with that being said, do you guys still have is it the same team this year, or did anything change within the team?
Yeah, so that's a good. So last year we have we came up with this team name that was aiming to represent not just Isaac. It's, as you can see, it's not Issac Woodworth Racing, right? It's Orlando Road Racing Academy, and the reason for it was, hey, let's open something up so that if somebody, other people in the SFL Mini wanted to come and join, they're not going to be racing under Issac Woodworth Racing because they have a different name. There's kind of like a different approach to it. And I think this opened up a few opportunities where we can, separate yourself from the race team and have a little bit of a structure that is more cohesive to invite people to help you with the racing. So last year was a huge support and influence from Sean Powell. I mean, he's basically the reason why we were able to go racing a Ninja 400 last year. Okay. and the things that we all learn with the Ninja 400 package, it's incredible. And it's mind blowing because the Ninja 400 is not a new bike,
Yeah.
and you're still learning things about it. Like,
Yeah.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
This year, we have the continuation of Sean's support. So he has a shop. It's called ASR. And he builds Ninja 400 engines, and he's very good at it. I mean, he's got the skill. He's in Wisconsin, and we're getting his support. But now we have a partner up with BPM, so bikepass.net, which is a already established team and how should I say this? Presence in the paddock, in the track day organization and the local race events in South Florida. So German Vaca is the person who is spearheading a lot of these efforts, and so we have merged with BPN to be able to bring Isaac this next level opportunity. Last year we saw places where we definitely needed the help, and we're excited that we have officially come into an agreement all together to make this year a lot easier.
Yeah.
A lot easier.
Dude, congratulations. Absolutely congratulations. Yeah, that's big news, man. It's because again, everybody, our sport's super expensive, even the junior cup class. I mean, it's yeah, I don't know the cost because I don't do it, but I assume it's $3,000 a weekend easy, probably more, and $3,000 would be probably at your home track or closest to you, maybe, right? So it's
that's just the tire bill.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? That's just the tire bill. That don't include the travel, what chef eats, right? But yeah. But at least you guys eat really good, right? Every day, chef eats good stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And Isaac, I was funny because I talked to Isaac the other day. He's like, "Yeah, man, I was supposed to get my. Did you ever get your chef eats package in the mail? By the way,
Oh, it shipped yesterday, so it should be here in a few days.
All right.
I also just ordered for the first time customer.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Dude, congratulations.
big package.
Yeah, good stuff, man. I got all kinds. He sent me all kinds of stuff. It was absolutely an honor for him to do that, and I can't thank him enough. I actually need to order some more myself because it was perfect for lunch. Like it's you just throw it in the microwave. You ain't got to think about it. It's healthy. You ain't it's really good stuff, man. So, what's your favorite training, Isaac? For the race, like, would you rather do supermoto or flat track or a mix of both?
I would rather, for training, ride the 400 on the kart track. Like, I spent all winter training with Alessandro on the 400s on the kart track, and I feel like that, like, riding with him made me more aggressive and more like expecting the aggression back, not just doing the aggression and not worrying about it. Being aggressive with him, he was aggressive back. So the 400 really helped me. Like, it helped me a lot because it helped me learn how to flick it faster, turn it real fast, get the bike stand up and get on the gas faster, and that's what I like the most on the kart track.
I think to add to Isaac, I think it's not, aggression is the way he sees it, but the way I see it from the, being outside the track, it's a comfort level. Someone that he can just know that if he puts the wheel in the inside, they both are going to make it safe through the corner, and that he can expect the same, and they both are going to make it. I think that's pretty important. Not everybody has the same tolerance of comfort when people are getting really, really close. Yeah.
It's almost like it's a I don't want to describe it. Your safety window, right? When your safety window closes up, the more uncomfortable naturally you are. But the more you practice it, right? Now your safety window used to be this. Now your safety window is this, or now this. is a little bit more comfortable, and then you find that you keep narrowing it down, and then next thing you know, you're the next you're sliding your head and your shoulders like they do in MotoGP, which is crazy, by the way, right? It's just absolutely nuts, dude. Yeah, but that's where all that comes from. It is that safety, right? It's like and touching back at what you said, Andres, at the beginning, right? Showing up Friday, one practice, and then you basically set the grid and you go out there wide open. It's almost like TT style. TT riders do the same thing. They show up to the track, and as soon as they go through that, hands come off the shoulder. They're not mucking out from the first time. It's 190 miles an hour from dead stop like that, and boom, it's it. So it's a lot to take in and a lot for your brain to process at one time, and be able to juggle that and progress as you have is just, dude, bravo, hats off, dude, absolutely proper mega. So with that, do you have any like rituals you do? Like, are you like left boot on first, right glove on, anything like that? Lucky underwear? Not
really. I used to have like these lucky socks that had a picture of me on them. But
I love it.
I still have one of them. I don't know where the other one went, but if I could find it, I'll still wear them. But I can't find the other one. But I used to go to.
He said, "I got socks with my picture with my face on it."
I said you do have a ritual. Maybe you don't realize it. By the time you're getting ready, you have your earplugs, you put the helmet, and you just sit down every time. You're not sticking around and waiting to get on the bike standing up, which I do. Before the race, you cannot sit me. I will never sit down, even if I have the full suit on.
Yeah, I try to calm down before the race. Yeah, like we were just at the Anderson kart track, and my heart was pumping before the race. I don't even know why. Because I haven't had the pre-race nerves in a little bit. My heart was pumping. I had to calm down.
So obviously, like Andre said, you do have a ritual, right? And it's you don't see that in a lot of riders. You're right. You see a lot of riders always mucking about, moving around, whatever it is that they're stretching or whatever, right? But to sit down and just be at peace is that's a strong mental game, because mentally riding, that's 90% of riding, at least 80, right? Is all right here anyway. So yeah, good stuff. It's dude. I couldn't imagine the nerves. I mean, I've done track days. I raced for a little while back in '99 when I went to Motorcycle Mechanics Institute in Phoenix, right? But it was just dumb track days with my friends. And I competed in 2 30-minute endurance races in CCS. That was about as far as my career went, right? But man, that was nerve-wracking for me though, right? Because it's different doing a track day with all three of us going out there talking shit and just, blah, 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 versus lining up with the grid. And you're like, it's just it's different stress that you don't normally feel because you're not in that situation. Right.
Yeah. And just to give you insight into things, you can wear yourself out by being excited.
Very much so.
And if you don't control your emotions, you're not going to have the same explosivity towards the mid or end of the race.
No, I agree with that 110%. Chris Lewis has a question for you, Isaac. He says, fellow riders that are your friends in the paddock, how do you adapt to them being your competitors and rivals when it comes to the race? Is that tough, or is that just what comes with being a racer?
Like off the track, it's all love to everybody and everything, but like on the track, I'm there to be the best I can be. So once I put my visor down on the grid, it's time to go. Like I don't know any of them no more. So it's just time to race and do me.
I love it. That's it. I'm here to win. Right afterwards, yeah, we can eat a slice of pizza, but nah, not right now. I'm getting that W. Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. This is good stuff, man. Chris says, actually, Isaac always sends it. And then Pat Sheridan says he has zero issues with that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, it was so busy. Like I watched Isaac for 2 sessions. What I mean by 2 sessions, not really out there on the track because I didn't really watch the races a whole lot or practice. I was too busy talking and meeting all my friends, that I've had on the paddock or just introducing my dad to everybody, just having a good time. But the 2 sessions that I watched Isaac, I watched him in the pits and how him and his team and his dad and all them prepared, right? And it was like I said earlier, it was eye-opening. It really is, watching everybody's different styles and features and what they do, down to the people putting the tire warmers on, to the rider, what they do, whether they sit down or they got earbuds in, or just jamming out or whatever it is, right? To get prepared. It's good stuff, Isaac, dude. 2024 is going to be proper. I can't wait to see you. Like I said earlier, get those W's. And so, as far as your guys' personal team, is it the same team members? Is it Curtis and Andreas and Isaac, or do you got new team members involved this year too as well?
So
It's
we always had a little one more, Sean Powell, right? So that was yes, last year's. This year we're going to have um, um, German Vaca with a BPN, and then we have Brent. He's a huge supporter of Isaac's endeavor to Moto America, and he's also very knowledgeable. He also rides. What does he ride, Isaac? At R3?
he rides he has an R3 and he has the Ninja 400 also.
Yeah, so he likes the kind of bikes that Isaac is racing. Believe it or not, there's a lot to be learned from this. So anyway, and in addition of last year's team, we have this year's team, which is going to include 2 more people. Very key. We also have other people that come and help us. Mike Lemons is I don't know if you've met him or not. Probably not.
Yeah,
I don't
so.
think he was. Yeah, but man, I tell you, he was really helpful to us, helping me bring stuff to the hot pit. Whew. I mean, that's a hike, and you're carrying a generator and tires and everything else.
It's hard.
Oh, believe me, I know. Yeah, I was like, by the end of the weekend, I was like, holy shit. Like, I feel like I got beat up by a Mack truck and then thrown in a bull ring and got plowed by them for a while. And the next day, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me right now, right? Yeah. That's when I was like, dude, I need to stretch a lot more. I need to be myself. I need to prepare myself instead of, because you don't think about how much physical work it is, as I stated earlier, taking all that stuff and then, dude, getting it set up, it bringing the chair for the rider and putting wheeling the bike over there, front rear stand, tire warmers on, generator, fire it up, plug it in. Well, obviously I know the routine. It's a lot that goes with it. Bringing toolboxes, in case you need to change a tire on the real quick, instead of in Moto America, you guys only have reins in one tire spec.
On Junior Cap, you have one designated tire, slick tire, and then one designated set of so you don't really play the game of we're gonna try 2 different tires because they're gonna be the same, so you don't do that.
It's dude, I love it though. It's nothing's greater than satisfaction than once you're over there on the hot pit and the light goes out and you're standing so close and you feel the energy, and it's just there's nothing like it. There's no greater place in the world, right? Absolutely not. I'd rather spend every day there than anywhere else. I hope my wife ain't listening, but no, I'm just playing.
And the starts are pretty entertaining for everyone, obviously, but this particular last year, Isaac had very, very impressive starts every time.
Oh yeah, I'm like the start master.
That's it. That's good, man. So what's your goals in 5 years, Isaac, as far as racing goes? Where do you see yourself?
I really want to, for 5 years, I want to win the championship next year. Well, this year technically, and after that, I want to try to audition for the Red Bull Rookie Cup. And if that doesn't work, hopefully Super Sport, and then just work off the Super Sport, and then just see where we go, or do the Red Bulls Rookie Cup and try to get to the Moto 3 or Moto 2 paddock.
Yeah, that's that we need more Americans over there, right? Now that we have Trackhouse over there in MotoGP, we'll see. But we definitely need a presence of Americans over there in Europe. 100, whether it's MotoGP, BSB, World Superbike, we need more Americans over there. Yeah, we got Gerloff, right? And yes, we got Joe Roberts, but we need more.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So, Isaac, have you ever thought about life after racing, like as far as career wise?
well, yeah, I wanna like really stay within racing, because like coaching racing, I really like doing that, and I feel like that's a good source to do after racing, because you can still have a source of income after racing, and then you can still be a part of racing. So if life after racing, I would probably say coaching or running my own race team, something like that, so I can still be within the race paddock.
Yeah,
You
owning
know,
your own. Sorry, Andres, go ahead.
nowadays anything can become a successful business. So the mentality of like, oh, you have to choose a path and a B backup plan. Not so much anymore, because you can do everything with social media, advertisement, marketing, all that stuff. Still
Yeah.
relevant skill you have to pick up, but then eventually you merge it into your racing. So I think that for a lot of the young kids that are coming up, maybe a plan B might not be ever even a thought.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never really thought about it.
Yeah, it's just a question I like to ask, right? I mean, do you have like, what do you think in the future, right? Because yeah, of course, for me and Andres was growing up, it used to snow 10 feet, and we still walked. No, okay, but yeah. So back when we were growing up, right? That's what we heard, though. Am I right, Andres? They say, hey, you need to decide, you're gonna be a lawyer, you're gonna be a doctor, you're gonna be a dentist, and all that stress. I was like, leave me alone. I just want to ride. That's all I want to do, right? I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to ask that question, because there are some people that absolutely upcoming racers that have a definitely, they're like, oh, I'm gonna be a dentist, oh, I'm gonna be a lawyer, I got this to fall back on, right? Which it's good, it's absolutely a good, because you're thinking ahead, right? Because not everybody's a Valentino Rossi, right? Where you can retire and be a professional race car driver and not have to pay nothing. I'm sure he don't pay for anything, shoes, clothes, nothing, right? So for the majority of us humans, I like to ask that question. But yeah, listen, this has been a lot of fun. We're an hour into this, man. So I actually want to talk about some personal questions with Isaac and get away from the racing for a few. So, Isaac, what's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I don't know. Like, I don't really watch that much movies, but Top Gun, The Maverick was one of the good ones I've seen recently. Well, not recently. I seen it a year ago, I think. I also just watched the Bob Marley movie. It was pretty good.
Oh, was that on Netflix?
No, I went to the movie theater and saw it.
Okay. I didn't know there was a Bob Marley movie out. Huh, I'm gonna have to do that. But dude, that's awesome. Top Gun. So my dad, Andreas, I grew up in the Navy. My dad was a fighter pilot, and that's what he did, is what Tom Cruise did in Top Gun. And I remember all that. And I remember him taking to movie theater. And yes, growing up, of course, I wanted to be like my dad. I was like, I'm gonna fly fighter jets. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And then he took me riding for the first time, and all that shit went right out the window. I was like, forget the jets. Yeah, they're cool and all, but dude, this is where it's at right here, right? It's funny, Andre, because growing up riding and he used to track days, and he'd come out there and all that good stuff. He's like, one day he just out of nowhere, he says, you think that thing's fast right there? I was like, man, that thing's a weapon. He's like, absolutely not. He's like, imagine being 50 feet above the ground doing 800 miles an hour, dropping a couple bombs and just cutting it straight up in the air. He's like, that's fucking hauling ass. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. That's hauling ass. This thing is slow. Yeah, absolutely. Right. But yeah, they're good, man. Top Gun. And when they come out with that movie, I was praying that they wouldn't mess it up. And thank God they didn't mess it up. right? Because when sequels come out, they totally botch it. You're like, yeah, you just waste a lot of money on that. So I'm a big Andre. I'm a big book reader, right? Well, I'm a big audiobook listener too, right? I don't read books because if I do, I end up going night, right? So Isaac, do you listen to any audiobooks or?
I read at school.
Well, you got to read at school, man. Come on, man. That's not.
But I really like most things I read are like motorcycle articles or like the new like something new about MotoGP, something MotoGP posted. I read like those, but I'm not a big book reader.
Leathered by John Hopkins is a wonderful, to me, it's I've listened to pretty much any motorcycle audiobook they have out there, from the Dunlops, Ian Hutchinson. I mean, dude, I can go Michael Rudder, I can go on and on and on the list, but to me, John Hopkins was the best, not taking anything away from anybody else's story or their glory that goes along with it, right? But what John did different than anybody else, Andre and Isaac, is how honest he was, right? Talking about his alcoholism, his pill addiction, smoking weed, and then going riding a MotoGP bike. You don't hear nobody else telling the real side of what they went through mentally and how they dealt with it at the time, and then what they did to overcome it, right? To me, that was absolutely one of the best motorcycle autobiography out there on the planet. Highly recommended. So if you two get the chance, man, you get the time, you're driving, going to the races this year from Florida to Atlanta, where I'm going to see you guys, right? Throw it in on, and listen to it, man. It's absolutely worth it. Dude, so Andre, during my interviews, I talk about the motorcycles and all that, but I like to get away and talk about personal stuff, right? I think it's important, and it's actually one of my favorite parts of the interview, because the people that are listening actually get to know you on a personal level, not just your racer and the mental side of it, the whole race stuff that goes along with it. So yeah, this is my favorite part of the interview, man. So listen, Star Wars, Isaac, do you like Star Wars?
I mean, my aunt is a big Star Wars fan, but I don't really watch it that often.
Oh man, well, Andreas, I know I ain't got Star Wars, right? That was our era growing up. You see that, you're like, dude, awesome.
Believe it or not, yes, like sci-fi topic here. I never had the discipline to watch an entire one of which, like, Star Wars to me was too long, and I was like, oh man, I'm bored. But yeah, it's got definitely, like, pop cultural references that you cannot miss if you grew up in our era. You can miss it.
No, you cannot. So along with that, are you Marvel or DC, Isaac?
Sure, I don't know.
So Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, any of that? You don't watch any of those? Superman, dude, that's absolutely my favorite, right? I was super. You can't kryptonite. That's it. There's no way you can kill Superman. If you ain't got that, you're done. I mean, why even show up, right? Yeah, it's a. So, what's your favorite cheat meal, Isaac? So you go the weekend, Andreas, man, you guys are just, dude, magical weekend. I'm very proud of you. Listen, cheat meal, not Chef Eats. We're doing a cheat meal tonight. What is your go-to favorite cheat meal?
If it's not something on like the side of the road, like we can go stop and eat, go sit down and eat. I really like going to Miller's Ale House and getting a Zinger Mountain Milk. That's what I like a lot. Or if it's like just fast food, probably stop at Burger King on the way home, get a nice burger.
The king. There's the king for a reason.
A nice Whopper, right, Charbroiled? Yeah, Whoppers are good. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's been a long. Dude, I used to weigh like 260 pounds, size 40 waist. I'm down to a 34, and I cut all that shit out. Even my cheat meal, like it's like Chick-fil-A, right? That's like my cheat. And even then I feel bad eating that. I'm like, why'd I just eat that? Yeah. I mean, why'd I just eat that, right? Yeah. I need to stick to my Chef Eats, right? For real. It's unless I cook. So I'm a big cook. So I love to cook. I get that from my mom, right? So I like to make homemade marinara and fettuccine Alfredo and yada yada yada. So yeah, man. So listen, celebrity crush, Isaac. What is your celebrity crush?
I don't know. I don't really
You gotta have a celebrity crush, man. Everybody got Andre got a celebrity crush. I got a celebrity crush. My wife's got a celebrity crush. Your daddy's got a celebrity crush. Everybody's got a celebrity crush.
I don't really know. I don't really.
Okay.
Andreas, how about you? Celebrity crush.
I think Angelina Jolie was like, when I was a kid anyway, when I was about your age, I'm like, wow, this woman is everything. Of course, she was in an action film, so it's like, you're overly hyped about it. But
Yeah. Chris Lutz says, "Come on, Isaac," and then Pat Sheridan says, "Taylor Swift."
I'm not a Swiftie.
Yeah, me neither. Right. There are a lot of Swifties though, but yeah, I'm not. I'm not. So, are you into? Obviously, you said baseball, right? Do you still watch baseball on the side or football or anything? Well, I take it back. American handball, real football, soccer, right? That's my sport outside of two wheels. So,
Yeah.
Do you watch any of that or?
I mean, I watch I don't really watch football, but I watch there's this YouTuber that I watch that he does football content, which I really enjoy. He goes to games and just watches them and commentates on them. So I watch that, and I also watch a little bit of basketball, but not a lot. I mainly watch racing. That's what I do.
Me too. Off season, watch the previous race season, whether it's MotoGP, World Superbike, all that. My favorite race of the year, hands down, is the Isle of Man TT. Absolutely the most beautiful thing, I think, my personal opinion, on two wheels on the planet. I mean, public roads, 37.5 miles, 4 laps, dude, 136 miles an hour average lap. It's mental, right? That is my absolute favorite race of the year for sure is the TT. But I go back and watch all that. Now they got Between the Hedges out. Have you guys seen that?
I've seen that one. Yeah.
Oh, dude, they have season 2 out now. That gets me super high. I have a hard time watching it at night because I just get so excited. My adrenaline starts pumping. It's hard for me to go to sleep. So I gotta cut my racing off at a certain time during the week. On the weekend, it's 3:00 in the morning, and I usually don't stay up 3:00 in the morning. I'm like this on the TV. Let's go! My wife and them are in there asleep, and I'm like, shit, I'm too loud. Dogs start barking. Yeah, get in trouble. Keep it down. I can't help it, man. I'm such a fan of the sport, man. Yeah, absolutely. PlayStation or Xbox, Isaac?
I'm an Xbox user.
Boo. No, I'm just playing. I got a PlayStation. It's all the same. The cool thing is that most everything's cross-platform now. So yeah, it really don't matter. So who was your favorite racer growing up? Did you have any posters on your wall of anybody in particular? Or
my favorite racer was Jorge Lorenzo.
Nice.
That's who my favorite racer was.
So I couldn't stand Jorge Lorenzo because I was a huge Rossi fan, right? I named my son Hayden Rossi, that, after Nicky Hayden and Valentino. But I got respect for Jorge once I read his book, right? Then he tells you the insight, right? So once you always heard this, don't judge a book by its cover, right? But in our sport of passion, you cling to a favorite rider, and whoever it is, it's if they have beef with somebody else, you're like, yeah, man, forget you, boo, for Lorenzo fans, boo, all that good stuff. But I find myself now, since Rossi retired and Hayden's not here, I'm a fan of everybody. I can't really say I used to dislike Marc Marquez a lot, right? Who didn't? I mean, all that, dude, whatever, right? That's beside the point. But now I respect him a lot more, especially these past couple of years, seeing everything he's went through, all the love and passion he has for the sport, regardless of whatever happened between him and Rossi back in the past. That's then, right? But I respect him, right? So yes, I do like him, and plus I'm a big Spartan. I love Greek mythology and Egyptian mythology, right? Big into Spartans. And when Lorenzo come out with that Spartan thing, that was my first little Andreas. I was like, okay, I can't tell my friends, but I can tell myself I'm a little fan now because that Spartan is sweet, dude. I love it. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good stuff. So if you could, Isaac, if you could have dinner with any 5 people in the world, racers, famous people, or anybody, who would you invite to your dinner?
So I got 5 people.
5 people.
I'll probably pick Jorge Lorenzo and then Mar Marquez for those 2. Talk about racing and all that. Probably Cameron Bobier, because I want to talk about him, how his experience was, and the difference in American and road racing in Europe and all that. So those are the 3 racers. Like, I would want to talk to someone that would like benefit me, like someone that would like teach me stuff, not someone just to go talk to. So I don't know the last 2, but someone inspirational that could lead me on the right path.
I mean, you got Andreas right here. He's leading you down the right path, right? So yeah, Andreas at the dinner table, right? Yeah. Our lit Logan C.
Logan Cunningham.
Yeah, I know. I just seen him in there. It's awesome. So, do you watch the TT Andreas and Isaac every year?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of clips of it, but I never really watched the full thing.
I like to watch the onboards, and every now and again, every time the TT comes around, I try to watch and understand what Guy Martin is saying. He talks
Nobody
so fast.
knows like Guy Martin. Yeah.
Yeah, but I try. I think it's in the Dunlops also what they have to say, because these people know a lot, and and when you're in the sport, you pick up things from just viewing and hearing people talk. You just pick it up.
Oh yeah.
So
For sure.
I do, but not the actual event.
Oh well, this guy right here, diehard, bona fide, 2 weeks. What I'm at work, practice is on, though everything, headphones in. Yeah, I'm walking through the plant, hooping and hollering, shouting. It's
Yeah,
dude. I mean, obviously, look at my room, right? I mean, it's dude. I got there's everything in this thing is even my personal clothes. I own very, very few personal clothes that is not motorcycle related.
yeah.
Seriously. My wife, she's like, I need you to dress up nice tonight. I'm like, okay. So I got this and that on. She's like, not motorcycle related. So it takes me 40 minutes to dig through all my motorcycle clothes to get to my non-motorcycle clothes because I don't ever wear it. So it's way back there in the back somewhere, right? Yeah, it's I'm a nerd, dude. I'm like that with Moto America. I'm like that with MotoGP. BSB is absolutely hands down one of BSB to me is my favorite road race series in the world. And the reason why I say that, and I say it all the time, it's not because of the tracks, it's not because the riders are more talented to the Americans, or it has nothing to do with that. It all simply comes down to one simple thing. Their super bikes, they don't hardly have any electronics on it. So it's back to old proper school where the rider is in control, right? Of the 240 horsepower super. Did y'all just see that? Look at that, dude. That was cool, man. Yeah, look, I do like this all the time too. Watch them bring up some hearts. Boom! Look at all the love. I'm spreading it around. Yeah. So it goes back to the old school, where the rider really makes it. I'm not saying it don't in Moto America or anywhere like that, right? But it's more of what the riders really actually feeling, right? Because you hear the stories, Andreas and Isaac, I hear them too, Stoner and everybody in MotoGP. Listen, cut all the electronics off the bike. Let me just ride the bike and feel it, and then we can start adding a little bit more electronics to it, right? But now it's like, dude, you see a MotoGP bike, it's like you got an Xbox controller, a PlayStation controller, a Nintendo Switch controller. You got a Genesis controller here. You got this lever, that lever, this lever, that lever, and it's like, I don't even know what to do with this thing, right?
You got 10 buttons on your left hand, 5 buttons on your right hand.
Yeah, it's getting really complex for sure. Lit Logan says, what is your favorite bike, Isaac?
Favorite bike? I mean, I really like the 600. I rode the 600 a few times. That was probably my favorite. But a bike that I have that's my favorite is probably my 400 or 450.
Supermoto.
Yeah, the Supermoto is pretty sick. I like it a lot.
So let me ask you this, Isaac. You can race for any team in the world in any series, MotoGP, World Superbike, Moto America, whatever it is, right? What bike would you ride for? What bike would you want? What team would you be on? And who would be your teammate?
So, like, what I really like is Moto 3. So, like, I like how close they are. Like, I seen a video a few weeks ago where, like, the first 18 people are all in the group. Like, there's nothing else compared to that. Like, in MotoGP, you have maybe one or two riders up top, and they just run away from everybody. Moto 2, kind of similar. But Moto 3, that's far my favorite. I'll probably ride that. I'll probably ride the Honda in Moto 3. And I don't know about a teammate. Probably. I really like Pedro Acosta. Pedro Acosta is a good. He's pretty fast.
He's no longer doing Moto 3, right?
No,
he's
in
he
MotoGP.
can come down to visit me.
Right to the paddock. Hi. So Baby Jeebus, that's what we call Pedro Acosta. He's man, when I first seen Pedro Moto 3 started, it was his very first race, if I remember, where he started from pit and then won the race. I was like, okay, this kid right here might have something, right? And then his progression has just been. And this last recent test, I mean, he didn't look like a rookie. I mean, dude, his teammate Fernando, he's got to be seriously getting bricks right now. Ended up way dead last. In the time sheets, like over 2 seconds off the pace. Yeah. You got a rookie that just
Qatar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not up to speed yet. Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Sorry. So if you want to know, just ask me. I'll tell you. Yeah. It's yeah, man, but anyway, man, racing's going to be 2024 in all series, right? So much movement, Moto America, dude, British Superbikes, World Superbike, you got Top Rack and Johnny Ray, and dude, all the movement in there. We got my man Andrea Iannone back, right? Which I'm so happy to see him back. I always told everybody looked at me like I was stupid. I was like, dude, if I was Ducati, I would have kept Iannone and not Dovi. That's just me. That's my personal. I thought, and I still believe that the reason why I say that, Iannone had more of a natural talent for riding motorcycles than Dovi did. To me, Dovi seemed like he worked harder at it, right? Where Andrea, he could, even if the setup wasn't right, he'd get out there and he was just blindingly fast, right? I mean, I think he was one of the first riders in Moto 2 that won like by over 20 seconds, which was like on a non-competitive bike. I mean, yeah. And then you heard stories about how he does stuff different between like how he comes off the gas, or he's still on the gas while he's braking at the same time, linked over in the corner on the very edge of the tire, doing those things simultaneously. He's like, nobody else does that, right? He's to me, that's what I would have done. I would have said, bye-bye, Dovi. Especially after the headbutt, right? I mean, come on, headbutt. The flying seagull at Phillip Island was a proper mega, as my mates across the sea say. Yeah, absolutely. Pat Sheridan says, why'd I close it? Ducati with Pat Sheridan. There you go.
Yes, sir.
Chris Lewis says, who is your favorite MotoGP rider?
I've been a Mar Marquez fan forever. Even last year when he wasn't performing the best because how his circumstances were, I was still voting for him. Like, you can ask everyone I would talk to about the MotoGP races. I would always vote on him to win, even though the odds weren't in his favor. So I'll probably say Mar Marquez right now. But it was Jorge Lorenzo back then.
I mean, Lorenzo was and what's funny, man, is you don't there when Lorenzo retired, like he did a little YouTube channel on motorcycle, like he actually did race reviews right on YouTube there for a little while, and then it's like he disappeared, right? And I'll never forget, and I go back and I look at it to this day, right now as we're sitting and speaking right now in 2024. Do you remember 2011 the Silverstone race, Andreas? MotoGP, when Colin Edwards, he broke his collarbone, right? But he was at the rider charity auction, right? And he gets up there on stage and he grabs the microphone and he says, I think Jorge Lorenzo is gay because you don't never see him with any women, bro. And I was like, yes, let's go, right? This is so awesome, dude. I miss Edwards. We need more people like him in the sport. But and you go back, and I go back and I think about it now, you still don't see in any videos he does. I'm not saying he is, but you don't see him with any videos with any girls. It's always guys all the time. He just did a video the other day, and he's big into Lambos, but whatever. Dude, Lorenzo on his day, he reminded me a lot of Stoner. Because when everything was in his favor, there was nobody on the planet, not Valentino Rossi, not Mark Marquez, not Jeff Duke, not Mike Elwood, not Joey Dunlop, none of them guys that you could not touch him. Absolutely not. It was just his riding style to me was one of the best out there too, as well. You know, he wasn't always hanging off there towards the end. He did, right? But real quick, this is why I think Rossi's the GOAT, right? This is why I say this. I'm not saying Mark Marquez is not some of the GOAT, but Rossi is the GOAT. Throughout all the career that Rossi raced, right? Some may agree, some may disagree. From 125 to his last race, right? All the times he had to change his riding style and adapt from bike to bike, year to year, electronics, wings, rate, all these differences, right? And at the very end of his career, he was still going faster than he's ever gone around any racetrack, right? But age and time take over, right? So, but in the way he elevated MotoGP, Andres, which means me and Andres can go on a boat with Isaac. We can be down somewhere, who knows, 10,000 miles across the world, wherever we are, and say VR46. And I guarantee somebody there is going to be like Valentino Rossi, right? Versus you can go there and say whatever from somebody else. And I'd be like, I have no idea who you're talking about. Absolutely no idea, right? So for the way he brought more people into the sport and his career, the way he celebrated and, you know, all that stuff, what he did, there's the GOAT. Absolutely hands down the GOAT, man. Even to this day, he shows up to a MotoGP race. It's like,
yeah. I think from a branding perspective, I think Valentino Rossi, it's a brand, and one that is recognized worldwide. Hey, I got something for you. If you were to ask me who should be Isac's teammate for like a Moto3 or something like this, I would say David Alonso. Is like the kid that won the rookie of the year this past year, and I think you know Isaac shares a lot of you know, from what you can see from the outside. Anyway, I don't really know David Alonso, but a lot of similarities
as far as like riding style and the way he approaches everything. I dude, I this year I will. When I'm not at the race, because I'll be in Atlanta and in Jersey again, hanging out with you guys. But I will when I watch on. This is my issue. Okay, with any racing really on TV is if you're not in the first 3, 4, 5, man, I don't get to see.
Yeah, you get no record.
Some of my friends racing, I don't see it. Because they don't televise it. They don't show it, right? I think Moto America and everybody else could do a lot better job and give more recognition to all the classes from dead last to first. And it wouldn't take hardly no more time. But again, our sports evolved around money and politics and TV times and advertisements and yada, yada, yada. But me personally, I think that would help the sport tremendously because that sponsors would find more value. And why should I give you $10,000 when you're 12th place and you don't get no TV time? Why should I give you that, right? And I just think it would help everybody in the sport. It's an organization, sponsors, and everything. Do you agree with that, Andreas?
I think there is a very good incentive for everyone to, like, as far as you know, the sport goes, to capture the battle in the, you know, whoever is in the front group, right? And that does, in my opinion, two things. One, it motivates people to actually be more competitive, right? Because if you want to be able to bring value to a sponsor, you want to be able to bring the value to a sponsor and have the, a lot of exposure time. Number two, it's good to study for the people that are coming into the sport or coming into the class. It's good to study what the winners are doing. That's what I do agree with you. I think everybody deserves their spot and a little bit of camera time. That would be awesome. But even from the situation, I can only appreciate what is being done at the moment. And those are just my two takeaways.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm not, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? It really is when it comes to that. But I just think that, you guys and everybody else, even Junior Cup, Super Sport, Twins Cup, and all that, deserve just, whether it's 3 minutes, 1 lap, 2 laps, that's not going to hurt. No TV time, that's not going to hurt anything, right? At least you get that little bit of coverage on national TV, right? On the Moto America app or YouTube or wherever it's at, right? You get that,
Yeah. Isaac got quite a lot last year.
I know
Isaac
he did.
I know he was there for a long time.
I was even in a commercial.
Yeah.
One American
commercial. In the commercial, in like a lot of the publicity stuff, which we're like, yeah, look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Yeah. Well, because I remember me and him actually, we jumped in the back of his trailer and did a little quick live Facebook video with him and Cameron, which Cameron was watching earlier. I don't know if he still is. But yeah, man, listen, I'm excited. 2024 is going to be proper. Gentlemen, thank you guys so much. What an honor it was. We're almost an hour and 30 into this. I know you guys got stuff to do. I do too. But before we get off here, I need you two to stay on with me after the podcast ends. But before we get off here, just for a few minutes, I need both of you guys to give all your social media shout outs. How can people follow you? Isaac, you need to get you a Club 27. Isaac to help you, support you, just like my man Juju did. So that concept comes for a lot of my friends over there in the UK that race over there in BSB, like my man Jake Marsh, Club 45. So just it helps, but something you should think about for sure. But go ahead and tell everybody how they could find you, follow you, support you. Do you have any merch for sale? Are you gonna have any upcoming?
I think we're gonna have a few shirts that we're gonna be able to sell. We still have a little bit of shirts from last year that we could sell, but my Instagram is Issac Woodworth _27, and then my Facebook is Issac Woodworth #27. So, and then I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't posted anything on there yet. Issac Woodworth Racing.
Nice. And so your dad put a thing up, said that you get to keep your same number this year.
Yeah, I got to go back to the number 27. So, pretty hyped about that.
What's the story behind the number 27? Why'd you choose that number?
Well, I had it for baseball because I was a big Mike Trout fan. So, it just carried over to racing. And I was kind of sad that I couldn't have it last year.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, explain to everybody, like Andres, when you sign up for this season, do they issue you a number, or do you put down what number you would like? And then if it's taken, they say, no, this is what you got to choose from.
There's a preference for people that have already been in the series, and they get to choose. They get the first bid, basically. And then, whatever else is available, then you get to choose it. But I'm actually, that's a better question probably for Curtis. He will definitely tell you. But I think that's the way it goes.
Yeah. You can go, Andreas. I'll go after.
Oh, go ahead. Good.
So, whenever you sign up, there's a gray slide form or whatever, a form, and it has all the numbers 0, 1 through whatever. And the people that did it last year, they have their number already reserved for this year. So you can pick whatever number you want, or the same people that say I didn't do Junior Cup this year, but I did it last year. My number will still be reserved until I say otherwise. You know what I'm saying?
And that's per class, so you can have a different number for Junior Cup and potentially a different number for Twins or
whatever.
Sport or whatever. Yeah.
Well, good stuff. And how can they follow you? Did you guys have any social media for y'all team, like Instagram, just on y'all's team,
In the
or
works.
in the works?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, you guys heard it. It's in the works. So until then, follow Isaac, man, because he is phenomenal, super fast. And listen, it's an honor in this lifetime, not only to be friends with you and Isaac, to meet you, but being the privilege to watch you grow and visualize all your dreams come true, right? And I hope you achieve the highest goal you have set in your mind, whether it's Moto3, MotoGP, become the first king, not the president of the United States. Whatever that goal is, bro, I'm in your corner. Absolutely, and support you 110%. You already know that. Absolutely. Before we get off here, I gotta give my quick shout out real quick. Listen, again, as always, everybody that watches and supports the podcast, I get lost for words. Thank you guys so much. It means the world to me, right? Big shout out to RD Racing and Jake Marsh in Club 45. If you guys haven't joined him yet, go and join him. He races in BSB GP2 class. They actually, Andreas, they support Pin to Gas. I'm on their leather suits, their BSB bikes, all their clothes. It's again, I get a little emotional talking about it because it's something I never dreamed of or fathomed in my whole entire life. Absolutely, what an honor. But yes, Club 45, Jake Marsh, RD Racing, BSB, let's go. Thank you guys so much. Big shout out to Martin at the Clothing Kings, where you can get all Pin to Gas merch, right? We got soft shell jackets, beanie hats, all that good stuff. You can go to clothingkings.co.uk and yeah, not only my merch, you can get Luke Hedger. There's a bunch of my mates that the Clothing Kings actually make merch for, and it's really good stuff. It's right here on my. It's hard looking at the camera. It's right here on this one, but yeah, and listen, everybody, Chris Lewis, man, dude, Mike Cook, Jeff Shuren, Chef Eats. Again, big shout out to Chef Eats. Big shout out to Jillian Carrera and Michael and the whole SFL Mini GP. Again, go sign up for Club 40. I think Jillian still got some slots left available. You guys need to hurry up and join. I did. I'm a member. So, yeah, help it. And my man Isaac, when he has a Club 27 coming out, you already know I'm going to join it. And I need everybody else watching to join it too, right? Thank you guys so much. I appreciate all the love and support. If you have not yet, I don't never say this, but I need to start saying it. Go hit that like and subscribe bell. It's weird for me to say it. And whether it's iHeartRadio, StreamYard, podcast, or wherever. I'm on everywhere but Apple. Chris, have just subscribed to your subscriber group. Thank you so much, Chris. Absolutely, thank you. Again, listen, everybody. I love you guys like I always do. Boom. There it is. That's for everybody out there. Yes, let's go. Listen, Andrea Jarmello, thank you so much for coming on again. It was an honor to meet you in Jersey. And Issac Woodworth, the future champion.
Yes, sir.
An honor, man. Thank you so much. Yes, and this episode will be out tomorrow on iHeartRadio, Spotify, all that good stuff. So, yeah, we will see you guys soon. Thank you guys so much. So, what did you guys think? Did you guys have fun?